You're about to listen to an audio recording of a conversation with a 17-year-old white male from White Pine, Tennessee, from 1977. It was recorded as part of the University of South Carolina's project to document American dialects. So the point of the interviewer was really just to get the voice sample participants talking, and this particular young man had something intriguing on his mind.
She told me that you've seen Bigfoot. I wouldn't ask you about that.
Yeah. I've been called a fool. I've been called a lot of other things, but really, see, the reason why I don't care to tell it, like if anybody else seen it, there's been other people besides me, there's a lot of other people besides me seen it, but like a lot of them won't admit it. But I guess when, like when I was little, I used to go uptown some and ride a motorcycle, and everybody made fun of me up there anyway because I was littler than they was and everything else. Mm-hmm. So everybody always cut me down, made fun of me anyway. So I figured, what the heck? A few more years being called a fool, that's not as bad as them, up there. But yeah, I've seen it down there. Well, when we was little, we went walking through the woods, me and my cousin did. And we found two great old big cave entrances. We walked up to one, and it was about yay big around, Mm-hmm. And then we walked on that through there, we started to go down in there, but we was just little, and we figured, we got down in there, but Mom had always told us to go in the cave, 9 times out of 10 you found a big old hole you never get out. So that sort of scared us. And we walked on down there, and we found another cave entrance, and it was a straight line, we walked to it, but it was a long ways through them woods. Them woods don't look like they're very thick, but they are. We walked down through yonder a little ways more and found another hole. So we seen the size of it, and it's about as big as the other one, so we decided we'd walk back, And so we walked back to look for the other one, and we walked a straight line just like we had, and like I still to this day know them woods like the palm of my hand, and where I want to go in them. I mean, I know about every tree in there. I don't know what kind they are, but I know about where they're located. Mm-hmm. And we walked straight line right back to where that other one was first, when we first sighted it. And it wasn't there. It was covered up some way. And we never have found them since then. But I've got, there's quite a few people seen it. Like I said, not many of them tell about it. Because people call them fool and everything. But yeah, I think it is. I've seen it.
Well, what does it look like?
I'd say about 8-9 foot tall. It's covered with hair about 2 inches long, and the face, I know I can see the face in my mind, but you can't really describe it.
His description of the face is consistent with the majority of witnesses I've conferred with. Eyewitnesses seem to struggle to describe it beyond like ours, but not like ours. In fact, I'm working on a video right now where the witness describes the creature's face as, quote, "I don't know, just different. Different from what we see every day. Not bigger or smaller than normal, just differently shaped. It's hard to explain."
It's something that you know what it looks like. You'd know it if you ever seen it again. But even like say, if you was to see it and then run back up here to tell me, you still couldn't describe it. It's just that kind of face. It's sort of an old man looking face. That's about the only thing you can think of. It looks something like an old man, and its face is just looks like hide, like raw, real tough hide. Mm-hmm. It stands, like I said, it stands about 8-9 foot tall. It's a big old thing.
Did it make any noise?
Yeah, make it mad. It's a growling. Have you ever went in and seen one of these movies?
He's likely referencing the 1975 documentary, The Legend of Bigfoot, by Harry Winter and Ivan Marks. And one might be tempted to say that it was simply this documentary, or even a fiction film, that put the notion of Bigfoot in his head, and then only in hindsight he related the anomalous growling to Bigfoot. But that's how information is disseminated. Recognizing a UFO as a flying saucer from a movie does not invalidate the UFO. It simply puts a name to it.
In the Bigfoot movies?
No, I haven't seen it.
Well, before we went to the movies...
I'll have to tell you, though, I just heard about Bigfoot, but a week or two ago, I just happened to turn on TV Saturday, and there's a adventure series, Bigfoot, on there now. Bigfoot and Wild Boy.
Yeah, so we heard this growling sound down there one time, and we didn't really know much about, what it was or anything like that. We figured, it was just some kind of maybe a dog, had a possum tree or something, just anything.
Mm-hmm.
But then we went to movies, me and I forget who else dating in, and I heard the same growl, and I recognized the growl because that's just something you don't forget. It's not the wailing type of growl that they make, but it's a growl, and they've compared it with every animal. They said, and another animal can make a sound like it. It hits certain tones that you just nothing else can hit.
Mm-hmm.
It's thrown a stick at us before for aggravating it.
This is what primates do.
And you said it was the caves that were no longer there?
Huh?
You said that something was no longer there.
Yeah, the caves, it was the same day and the same minute. We walked by 1 minute and they're there, and we walked back the next and they're not.
And you've never seen them since?
Never have.
I'm not sure what to make of disappearing caves.
I don't go back up in there much.
And whereabouts is this?
Down here at the crossroads, I can take you to it. It's right down here at the crossroads, and you make a right and you go up that way. And then there's this big patch of woods right there on the road, alongside the road.
Is that anywhere near the lead mines?
No, lead mines, you go straight on down through there. Now, these weird stuff happened down there. There's one thing that pertains to Bigfoot down there, but I didn't see it. And they went down there, and was talking, and they heard something splashing, and they turned around and looked, and they said it was a real tall thing, but it was humped over in the back, and its hands was walking through that water, and it splashed as it went. And in the world today, I don't disbelieve nothing unless, I've got evidence against it. I don't particularly believe everything, but I don't disbelieve everything either.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't think anybody has disproved that there are dragons in Douglas Lake. But
dragons? That is far-fetched right there.
Yeah, but then again...
There is a dragon, though. There's a dragon, but it's not like far-breathing and all this. I've got a book right up here. You want to see it? If you ever heard of them? See, I'm a great admirer of all kinds of animals.
You mean about the Loch Ness kind of thing, or what?
No, it's a dragon on this island across the waters.
There's a dragon on this island across the waters. It was a better time.
It's not one of them great big tall ones, it's not one of them fairy tale dragons like you'd actually.
Oh, it's in Indonesia. It's in Komodo.
Yeah.
Dragons. Yeah.
The interviewer mispronounces Komodo before correcting himself. It's important to note that in the 70s, the majority of information was still in written form, as opposed to audio and visual. Therefore, people had yet to crawl up their own orifices about pronunciation. Mistakes were easier to make, and regional differences were more tolerated, thus the point of this recording.
Yeah, they're 15, 20 feet long. Yeah, Komodo, yeah. Yeah, I've seen stories on this National Geographic and other places. And they get up to 15, 20 feet long.
7 seconds of pause tells us that anonymous 17-year-old has read his Komodo dragon book and knows that Komodo dragons are half that size. But he's wary to correct the man from the university, so he simply concedes that they are large.
They're big old things. And in that book it says, you don't mind if I smoke, do you?
It was a simpler time.
No, go ahead.
In that book it says that the reason why they can't expand their population is because they're about like a lion, and a lion's about like we are. They kill their own kind a lot. And that's the reason why.
If they get overpopulated, you mean?
Yeah. Like when they, every animal has its own habitat, and every animal has its own piece of ground they've staked out.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess what happens is one just happens to walk across one ground and the other one don't like it, so he just eats him up.
It's quite a feast. What do you do on a typical day?
For the sake of time management, I will cut 2 minutes of this young man talking about a typical day, but he spends his time going to school, taking care of his dogs, chickens, and rabbits, and helping his younger siblings with their homework as best he can.
That's it. That's the whole day. Sometimes we go to movies or something like that.
Yeah, what do you do when you want to have a good time?
The anonymous 17-year-old is philosophically perplexed at the notion of a good time.
It's all according to what you call a good time.
Yeah.
Well, what I do. What you mean? What would the best time? What would I have the best time doing?
No one has ever asked this young man what he wants to do.
Is that what you
Let's
mean?
say
If I could do anything I wanted to, what would the best thing? What would I like to do best?
that's another question.
Okay.
Okay, answer that one first.
Okay.
What would you do?
I'd like to. What I'd like to do for even as much as one day maybe.
Mhm.
Cause I like just around, just like go down to the zoo and then let all the animals loose or something like that, or maybe raise them or something like that. Because there's a lot of animals down yonder in the zoo that law just won't let you have here.
Yeah.
And that and hold a snow leopard. I'd like to hold a snow leopard for once.
That and what?
Hold a snow leopard.
The best good time he can think of is raising animals at the zoo and petting a snow leopard. Society has collapsed since then.
That and what?
Hold a snow leopard. Hold one up or something like that. Or even see one close up, and be able to take a picture of it. That'd be good enough for me.
A snow what?
Snow leopard.
Snow
They're
leopard?
Snow. S-N-O-W.
Yeah.
Leopard.
Oh, leopard. Oh.
They're
I never heard of them.
In 1977, the college-educated interviewer had not heard of a snow leopard. Keep that in mind while mulling over the study of hidden animals.
they come on Johnny Carson one time and they said, Marlon Perkins, and there's something like 500 left in the wild, and 70 females and 80 males in captivity, and that's all there is left of them. And they're the prettiest kind of cat. They're prettier than any cat I've ever seen in my life. They're brownish colored with sort of a whitish colored spot on it, blurry spots.
Mm-hmm.
And their paws, what they do is they live up in them high mountains across seas. I can't remember what the mountain was. But a regular leopard have a hard time going up a hill with, real deep snow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, these things can retract their claws like that, and they'll just slide down and ski like we ski. They ski down the side of a mountain. That's the way they catch their prey. They're almost extinct. But he said when he brought it on there, he said it would probably be the last people to ever see one. This generation that's watching that show, because that's how bad they are. Gone.
Mm-hmm.
And what I call having fun. Okay.
Well, let's say in White Pine, what do you do for a good time?
Was out leaving White Pine. Right. Watch TV. maybe walk back, like one time it's, peaceful back there in the barn. And like say, if you're standing back there by yourself in the barn, like one time when I went back yonder, and it's not really a seat, really, it's part of the manger that comes out. And it's a hard position to get in because you got to sit with your legs way up in the air, but it's just a good thinking place, or it's a good place to relax. I mean, you just sit there,
Mm-hmm.
and the cows, if you ever sit close to a bunch of cows chewing, and it's just, relaxes you. And then your dogs are all laying in there, a couple of cats. And the rabbits are right outside, they're all peeking in at you. And that's a good way. That's the best way I've ever found to think, is just walk back up through the woods or something like that. But
1977 may not be so long ago, but I still think it's beautiful to hear a voice from the past. If he was 17 in 77, that means he's 65 now, if he's still alive at all. I hope he got to see a snow leopard in person. The following is the subject's response as to why he likes ancient history.
it just seems like, I don't know, it just seems like it, been alright to live back in. I know it'd been hard living, but it'd have been a lot better because all you had to worry about is somebody throwing a spear at you or shooting you with bow and arrow or something like that. Nowadays, you got to worry about somebody pushing a button, and that's pretty bad.